Good morning and welcome to City of Light. It's a delight to welcome each and every one of you who are joining us through our live streaming and our YouTube channel, City of Light Atlanta, as well as those who are joining us in our auditorium today. Well, today we have a very important question that we want to begin with. And the question is, why are you here? Very important to ask the why. Why do we do what we do? When we understand that, we understand what we need and how we hope to accomplish all of that. So when we say, why are we here? Well, I don't know about you, but I've come to grow spiritually. I'm here because I want to learn and experience, and I learn from each and every one of you as well as what we share together in this celebration service. Why am I here? I'm also here to build up and edify one another. I hope you are too. When we ask the question, why are we here? We understand what our needs may be and how the Spirit can actually meet those needs today. So, why are you here? I hope it is that you've come to experience the divine presence of God that is demonstrated through one another as well as through the Spirit that we sense within this room and the presence within us. Let's welcome one another with these words that you find on our screen. Let's join together in this wonderful affirmation that defines who we are, what our mission is. So join with me in these words. Would you share with me? Welcome to City of Light. This is a place where people of like mind come together to recognize in Christ consciousness that there truly is only one power, ever present and all-knowing. We offer a positive and practical approach to a lifetime of spiritual growth. We know we are all spiritual beings having a physical experience in this world. We celebrate our diversity, welcoming everyone in unity. We know that how we act is the greatest expression of what we believe. So we live out our calling to be a light for the world, a light of love, truth, and understanding that is making a difference. And so it is. In an incredible journey. It's a journey of celebrating 50 years. Can you believe it? City of Light has been a ministry in the Atlanta metropolitan community area for 50 years. As we look at this exciting year, going back to 1972, when a handful of people gathered together in a home to establish a congregation and to have a mission that is so powerful and inclusive, that has a powerful message calling the world to be and to do. And that's our theme, calling the world to be and to do in 2022. That's our celebration of 50 years. We're continuing this wonderful journey as we launch today this exciting celebration of 50 years. You'll find in the center of your bulletin a listing of all the different themes that we're looking at for this exciting year of celebration. And we begin January with calling us and calling the world to be light and to do light. And in February, we're calling the world to love and to be love and to do love. And March, calling the world to generosity, to be it and to do it. And on goes the listing that you'll find in our bulletin. And for those of you who are joining us through our live streaming and our YouTube channel, you're going to find them on both our website as well as our Facebook pages this coming week. So you can follow along with the various different themes that we celebrate throughout this 50th year celebration. Well, it's going to be an exciting year because we're planning all kinds of wonderful events. And we'd love to have you be part of them. Ways that we can celebrate with one another this incredible journey of ministry that this church has been touching lives for over 50 years in the metropolitan community. So we join in that celebration. And let me tell you this, you're looking pretty good for 50. Yeah, that's right. We're looking pretty good for 50. And somebody said, wait a minute, I'm not even 50 yet. Yeah, well, still you look good for 50. As a congregation and as a ministry, we've been shining brightly in this world, calling the world to be and to do. And that's really what we've been all about, calling the world to be what we're called to be, to live that out to the fullest, and to do it with a passion, do it with this sense of calling and awareness of what God has called and enabled us to do. So it's going to be a great year. Let's join in now in singing this chorus that just really embodies that we are marching in the light. It's what we've been doing for the past 50 years. Join us in singing a little Swahili as well. And let's have some fun as we open up the service with this thought. We're marching in the light of God.
See a Handbook and yank winkles. 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 See a Handbook, see a Handbook, see a Handbook and yank winkles. See a Handbook, see a Handbook, see a Handbook and yank winkles. We are marching in the light of God. 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 We are marching, we are marching, we are marching in the light of God. We are marching, we are marching, we are marching in the light of God. See a Handbook and yank winkles. 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 See a Handbook, see a Handbook, see a Handbook and yank winkles. See a Handbook, see a Handbook, see a Handbook and yank winkles. We are marching in the light of God. 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 We are marching, we are marching, we are marching in the light of God. We are marching, we are marching, we are marching in the light of God. See a Handbook and yank winkles.
Amen. All right, you're a little bilingual today. I love that. Swahili, the 12th most spoken language in the world, and here you are, engaging in this wonderful sense of inclusiveness. Let's begin our service with this wonderful thought of doing unto others. It's what we've been doing for 21 years of ministry here as the congregation, beginning with a thought how we can be a blessing to the world around us. Not just coming with a focus of our individual needs, but the needs and awareness of a world around us. And today we're giving generously towards the benevolence program of this ministry that is there as an emergency fund to help those who are facing challenges in their day-to-day journey. We love to be a blessing not only in prayer and counseling and support and love, but in a tangible way as well through financial assistance as we are able. So we appreciate your gifts today, which enable us to stock up this fund so that we can do our best to be a blessing to those in special needs. Ushers, would you come and share these cans as we give generously to help in the work of doing unto others? And for those of you who are joining us through our live streaming, we encourage you to go to our YouTube channel or to our website, www.cityoflightatlanta, and there you can make your donations. We appreciate that so much. Thank you so much for your generous giving and support of this compassion program. We appreciate it a lot. Over the past year, you've done some amazing things that enabled us to really reach out to the world around us through this Do Unto Others Fund, whether it be supporting a homeless shelter, a food bank, or programs for the homeless, or caring for them, providing sleeping bags, whether it be reaching out for those who are facing breast cancer, or the United Negro College Fund. We've looked through this past year and the amazing work that you've done in generously giving in a way that we can really be doing unto others. We appreciate it so much. Thank you. Now, let me share with you some of these things that are coming up as we look towards this exciting year of ministry of 50 years. Well, next week, or this week, I should say, tomorrow, we're beginning a new class. It's the Energy Connection. It begins Monday at 10:30 right here in the sanctuary. It is based on the book by Reverend Dr. Joyce Reynolds. She was teaching here prior to her passing this last year, and involved in the Emerson Institute and engaging people in this wonderful work of understanding the power of the energy of life, the energy of God at work within us, and this wonderful connection we have. Along with it, teaching the power of scripting. Now, if you've not understood the power of scripting, I hope you'll join us for this class if you're able to, because we want you to learn the power of scripting out your day, scripting out that which you affirm, scripting out that which you believe to be so in your life. It demonstrates the faith that you have and the strength of that being expressed as you write out that which you believe to be so. that which you desire to have happening with your life. It's kind of like an actor receiving a movie script and going, how am I going to play this day today? Am I the hero? Am I the villain? How do I live? Well, you write out that script for your day, and you write it out as if the day has completed. So at 10 o'clock at night, you may review and read that script and go, yes, that's how my day went. I believed it was going to be filled with love and grace and compassion. I believed it was going to be successful, and I would meet new people, or whatever it may be that you were so desiring. As you look back, you've lived it out because you've scripted it. You've set intention. You've set the direction of that which you desire. To learn more, come and join us tomorrow and every Monday at 10:30 as we begin this class entitled The Energy Connection. Then on Tuesdays, we're closing out this class. It's going to be one of our final sessions on the creative mind and success, and that's at 6 p.m. And on Thursday, the Handbook for Higher Consciousness is another exciting class, and it's at 10:30 on Thursdays. So we encourage you to be part of these opportunities for your spiritual growth and development. You know, we're passionate about this because we believe in you, and we want to see you be successful in your spiritual life. Not just that we want you to come and be in attendance on Sunday, but we're concerned about your life 7 days a week, 365 days a year, and how it's being lived out in your spiritual development. So we're passionate about that, offering these class opportunities for you. We hope that you'll be joining us in them. We also want to remind you that every morning at 6 a.m., you get an affirmation. An affirmation comes out from my email address through Constant Contact to those who have subscribed. Now, if you're not getting it, please let us know. We'd love to make sure you're on that email list, that you get a daily affirmation. People have been looking for it every day now in a habit and opening it up and say, wow, it's really something that I can speak out and express in faith and believing as I affirm the power of God within my life. If you're not part of that or not receiving the daily affirmations, please let us know. Let me know personally. Send us your address. You'll find the details in your bulletin where you can email me. We appreciate that so much. Send an email to revtpaul@aol.com or just let us know through a message in some way. We'll make sure that you get on that email list to receive that daily affirmation. It's been going now for a year, and we've been reaching out to over 1,000 people with this wonderful affirming power in their lives. We also want to know that we appreciate those who are checking in with us on Facebook. And if you're not part of our City of Light Facebook group, make sure you join that group as well, because you'll find all the announcements and events for this exciting year unfolding there, and you can be informed as to what's coming up in the ministry. We appreciate it so much. And also, today you received a prayer request card when you came in, and I hope you'll take a moment to fill out that prayer request card. When it's completed, slip it in the offering buckets as they come by later as we receive our tithes and offerings. We want to pray for these special requests. They're printed out and are listed in our Facebook page, City of Light, the group page, and you can read them out in the form of an affirming prayer, and let that be a prayer that you've expressed as we join in praying for the needs of others. Then, after a week, these prayer requests are sent off to Silent Unity, our prayer partner ministry in Kansas City. And they're going to be praying for those special needs for another 30 days. So we just believe in the power of prayer, unfolding amazing things within our lives. And so many of you have said, I've experienced the answers. And, you know, quite often we don't often get a chance to hear of the answers to prayer and how they've unfolded within our lives. We love to hear those as well. And we love to promote the education of understanding God is in the prayer answering business. That's right. And every prayer is answered according to our faith, according to that which we believe. So we want to encourage you to be engaging in the prayer ministry, submitting your prayer requests, and joining us in prayer as well. We believe for great things. Let us now center our hearts for what God has in store for us today. Let's just take this moment to reflect on the goodness of God and the blessings that we received this past week, and know that there's even more that the Spirit of God has for us. So let's join together in this moment of just expressing gratitude within our hearts and our lives. A gratitude for all the goodness, all the graciousness, all the peace and joy of the divine presence of God within us. And let us sing together this simple song, I am the light. And we realize this wonderful light that we are in this world. That's what we're called to be, called to do. And let's proclaim it together. Let's sing along.
I am a light. I am a light.
Proclaim it now.
I am a light. I am a light. I am a light in this world. And I shine, and I shine, and I shine so bright. And I shine, and I shine, yes, I shine so bright. You are a light, you are a light, you are a light in this world. You are a light, you are a light, you are a light in this world. And you shine, and you shine, and you shine so bright. And you shine, and you shine, yes, you shine so bright. We are a light, we are a light, we are a light in this world. We are a light, we are a light, we are a light in this world. And we shine, and we shine, yes, we shine so bright. And we shine, and we shine, yes, we shine so bright. And we shine, and we shine, yes, we shine so bright. And we shine, yes, we shine so bright.
Let us pray. Please close your eyes as you are comfortable. And this I know to be true. God is spirit, and spirit is all there is. It is all there ever will be. It is where I am, other than my breath, in me, all around me, through me, as me, and always for me. As I set my intention to do and to be in 2022, I free myself from the stories of the past, letting go of blame, resentment, judgment, criticism. I nurture myself and love myself, embracing all my parts. And I love others, and I love my world. In the words of songwriter Brian Wren, this is the day of new beginnings. Time to remember and move on. Time to believe what love is bringing, laying to pass our pain-filled song. So let us, with the Spirit's boldness, step from the past and leave behind our disappointments, our hurts, and our grieving, and be open to experiences we're sure to find. The Christ is alive and goes before us as our way sure to what love can do. Truly, this is a day of new beginnings. I know that our God is making all things new. Let us take a moment of silence and allow the Spirit to speak to us. And together we declare, and so it is. Please rise now as you are able in body and in spirit, and join the voices and instruments of celebration in singing the Lord's Prayer.
our Creator, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen.
You may be seated. Thank you so much to all of our musicians and vocalists. We appreciate our ushers and greeters and those who help in hospitality, our multimedia team, as well as so many other volunteers that are helping to make a difference here at City of Light. I just want to say thank you. Appreciate each and every one of you and all that you do. Well, you know, in our world today, there's a lot of people who believe that they have a must-have, or there's a need for a must-have in their world. I was talking with a parent who said, you know, my 8-year-old is crying and complaining that he must have a cell phone. A cell phone at 8 years? But you know how it is in today's world. You know, when I was 8 years old, I was just lucky to have one of those multicolored click pens. You remember those? And I thought that was the coolest thing. That was my must-have, so I must have really dated myself. But nowadays, everybody's like, this is my must-have. How about you? Do you have a must-have in your world that says, you know, oh, I must have this to live. I must have that. You know how we get so dependent on certain things and think that they are so essential for our life? Well, let me tell you this. In our journey of our spiritual life, there is a must-have for our very existence, a must-have that we must claim within our life. And that must-have is light. Light. And we think, wait a minute, light? You mean sunlight? You mean brilliance? You mean an open window casting in some sort of illuminating fraction so that just kind of help us see clearly? No, I'm talking about light, which truly means understanding, wisdom, enlightenment. It is essential for our lives in this spiritual journey that we receive light, that we be light, that we do light, that we are doing wisdom and understanding, that we are being that wisdom and understanding, that we are sharing it with the world around us. It's a must-have for our spiritual life. For as we walk through this world, we're called to experience the evolution of a soul that's growing and maturing in the must-have, in the wisdom and in the understanding and the light that illuminates in a world of darkness. So many people around us are living and existing in darkness and not understanding that light is available. Wisdom is available. Insight is available. Understanding is available. And we go through life and we wonder, how does this life work for us? How do we do this? And how can we do this life well? It seems like there's so many challenges and I don't know how to do life, how to live life. Oh, that we would begin with a class, a life-living class, a life on how to live life that's full of an understanding and a wisdom that's full of light. Light 101. That's a must-have. We must have that within our journey of our life, that we can understand how this spiritual life impacts everything within our day-to-day journey. Because we are spiritual beings having a physical experience. And too often we're thinking, no, I'm a physical being just trying to have a spiritual experience. But Now we live from this wonderful understanding that the soul is the life within us, that we understand that God is this wonderful life and essence within us. When we understand that that's what we're living out in this world, we truly know that we're living from a spiritual perspective, and how important that wisdom is, how important that understanding is, how important that light is within the journey of our lives. When Jesus said, I am the light of the world, that we find in John chapter 8, verse 12, that passage, I am the light of the world, he meant that he was the expresser of truth. That he was speaking, that the words that were coming out from him were illuminating. They were truth that lights the pathway of one another. That there was this powerful truth and wisdom that he's expressing that helps us live in this world that could be a world of darkness, but instead it can be a world that's illuminated with light because we understand, we grasp, we have the wisdom of God. There are so many spiritual principles for us to live out within our life to the fullest. What a transformation it would make to our day-to-day journey. Do you believe in the spiritual law of sowing and reaping? Oh, it's there in our natural laws. How about in the world of our spiritual law? What are you sowing? What do you intend to reap? Sow what you intend to reap, and you will reap it. Wow, if we just think about how simple that spiritual law is, that's very illuminating, isn't it? In a world of darkness, when we're facing so many challenges, we say, wait a minute, I don't want to face these challenges in this way of hopelessness, discouragement, sadness. I want to face these as an overcomer. So what I sow is this affirming power and faith that says, I believe that all things are possible, and I live this all things are possible. I sow these seeds of great faith, and I reap back in return just that. You see how powerful light is, wisdom is, understanding is? It's a must-have. It's a must-have for our day-to-day journey. And Jesus was an expresser of it, one who spoke light. That's right. Spoke wisdom, spoke understanding, spoke light to a world of darkness. Oh, that might be our language. In the world today, we sang a little Swahili, foreign language. And in our world today, we have so many different languages around us, and we wonder, what is the language of our community, of our culture, of our home? What is our mother tongue? We may ask these questions. And I hope we understand that light is our universal language. That we are speaking wisdom. We're speaking understanding to one another. Because the world is hungry to hear just that. When's the last time someone spoke light to you? Spoke understanding, spoke truth, spoke wisdom, that engaged you, that helped you through this journey of life, that you understood this very wisdom of spiritual law that's at work, that says, what you are, you will attract more of, and what you believe, you will attract more of in your faith and believing. And that this wonderful law of attraction is at work within our life constantly. Wow. When we understand that, that's great wisdom. That's great light. That's great understanding. It begins to transform our day-to-day experience. Today, we're beginning this journey of 50 years of calling the world to do and to be and to do in 2022. We're celebrating this incredible experience of calling out one another in so many different aspects, whether it be calling out the world of compassion, calling out the world to love, calling out the world to be inclusive and live in oneness, calling out the world to be generous, calling out the world to be powerful, calling out the world to be positive. You'll find all those themes listed there in the center of your today's bulletin. But we're calling out the world and saying, this is our language. We, as a community of City of Light, are speaking light. Speaking wisdom, speaking insight, speaking understanding for the world around us. For when we understand this, that this light doesn't tell us what to think, but it tells us how to think. You know, that's so essential. In today's world around in the fields of education, so many are trying to say, just learn what to think, not how to think. And I think today's society is craving out for the insight and understanding. Teach me how to think. how to think for myself rather than to just giving me the answers and saying, just do, and you don't even understand how you came to that answer, but it's just been given to you to believe. And how important it is that we've embraced this understanding. How to think in our world. We've got to understand that as we speak light, we're offering the words of wisdom and knowledge, not telling people what to think, but how to use that wisdom and knowledge for them to think for themselves. How important it is. How important it is that you have thought for yourself about your individual faith, not relying on what your mother may have said, your father may have said, a pastor or teacher may have said, but that you have thought it through for your own self. This is what I think. This is what I believe. So how important it is that we're helping the world to think clearly as we speak the language of wisdom. We speak the language of understanding. We speak the language of light for the world around us. And what happens is that it's not so much that we just speak it and people receive it, but that we've experienced it ourselves. And how important it is that you've just taken this wisdom and said, I'm going to practice it. I'm going to experience it myself. Because how many of you are far more authority on something when you've experienced it yourself? You know, you can't say, I'm an authority on surfing when I've never surfed. You know, how many would you believe that you're really an authority on it when you've never experienced it at all? So it is that the journey of our life is calling us to embrace this truth, to speak this light, but to experience it by practicing it on a day-to-day journey of our living. That we then speak from authority, we speak from experience. You know, this is the wonderful thing about the journey of our life is that there are all these opportunities that are given to us to practice our faith. Wow, COVID-19 has really blessed us with an opportunity to practice the power of believing, power of faith, power that says, I'm not living in fear. I may be respectful and wise, but I'm not fearful. I am journeying through this as I step out in faith, believing that God's going to supply in times when so many people's jobs have been set aside or closed down. Industries have folded or closed during this time, but it's a time of great faith and believing. And we here at City of Light have spoke the word of light. We speak the language of light to the world that says we're believing for the miraculous to unfold. Wow, it has unfolded. As we look back at this year and we question, how did we make it? In a world where so many congregations are closing, speak for us in our world. Speak light, but speak it from the experience of putting that wisdom into action. Putting that practice into action. So let me tell you this, when life is giving you an opportunity to step out in faith, calling you to get out of the boat and walk on water that seems troubled, like a Peter in the scriptures, like calling us out to experience something challenging, you say, wow, here's a chance for me to experience light and to put it into practice. And I'm grateful for this experience because I know the wisdom, I know the insight, I know the understanding. I know the truth, and I know that when I practice it, it works. And how important that is that we speak this language to a world around us, that people have the chance to actually see it experienced in our life, that which we talk about, we're experiencing it firsthand, but also to allow people to question us. Let me tell you this, one of the greatest things that we can do in our spiritual life is to ask questions. How many of you have been in a spiritual environment where the pastor would say, don't ask questions, just take it by faith. Or just take what I believe, what I say, just don't ask questions. And we may have grown up in that spiritual culture, but the power of your growth and your development is going to be in seeking out answers by asking those questions and searching out in your life and saying, wait a minute, I want to question this. How does this work? I want to know how this works. I want to know how faith works in my life. I want to know how when I claim something, when I'm really claiming it to be true, how does that work? And I want to know how the spiritual laws are in operation within my life, of how the very workings of God unfold for the miraculous within me. I want to ask those questions. Now, I'm going to give you a side commercial here. That's why we host classes. for you to come and ask questions. I'll tell you this, some of our classes have been filled with students asking questions that we digress, shall we say, in a very healthy manner, but we are answering those questions for those who are seeking and searching, and we answer them collectively as a body. We help each other in that journey. How important it is that we have these opportunities to inquire and to say, wait a minute, I don't know if I believe this. How does this work? And I don't know if that's really true, but I really want to know how it is for you. And so this searching, this seeking helps us unfold a dynamic that's so essential for our life, the dynamic of wisdom, understanding, of speaking light within our world. Jesus said, I am the light. Jesus said, you are the light. As we look at Matthew chapter 5, verse 14, this founding scripture that we use that defines who we are as city of light, it says, you are the light of the world. A city built on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on a stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others. Speak light is what it's saying. Speak light. Let your light live light. Be light. Do light. That others may see your good works and glorify the divine source of God within that heavenly context within us. You see, it is this wonderful affirmation that we need to proclaim each and every day. I am the light. I am a light of this world. We sang it today, and that needs to be our proclamation as we move out into the world each and every day. I'm a light, and I tend to be a light. I tend to be a light of unfolding wisdom and insight through the experiences that I've lived. I intend to speak wisdom, not speak negativity or division or anger or frustration, but to speak the wisdom that brings light and understanding to the world around us. So it is that we speak that which we know, because let me tell you this, you know it. You know it's within you, and you know this is who you are, for you're the divine expression of God. So when you say, wait a minute, how do I speak light? I don't know. It's so beautiful that when you just, in the stillness, allow the Spirit of God to speak through you. And those words of wisdom will come through you. Those words of insight will come through you. It's beautiful when we begin to speak peace and not conflict. We're speaking the language of light. When we speak of love and not fear, we're speaking the language of light. When we're speaking of joy and not discouragement, we're speaking the language of light, because these are the illuminating words that help to shine on a world that's experiencing so many challenges. And when they see and hear you speaking of possibilities versus impossibilities, suddenly their lives are transformed as we speak, as we be, and as we do this light. John chapter 1, verse 4 says, in him was life, and the life was the light of men. And that light shineth in the darkness, but the darkness comprehended it not. They couldn't comprehend it because they're ignorant and not understanding wisdom. Someone needs to speak light. We live in a world right now that's hungry to hear wisdom, insight. How does this world work in the midst of all this confusion? How does success unfold? Has success stopped in the fields of business and prosperity in the midst of COVID? It hasn't. We just need to know how to work it, how to unfold it, how to manifest it in greater ways. So we speak the realms of possibilities to one another. In that unfolds new insights for one another. This life, this light of life, is this spiritual understanding, this divine intelligence that's there within each and every one of us. Let it rise up. Let it rise up. Interesting. I think about the years of parenting and my children, and quite often I would say, honey, you know the right answer. You know what to do. My kids would turn to me and say, wait a minute, Dad, what do you mean? I know it. I said, no, I know you know it. And you know it too. They had to admit, you're right. Within them, they knew the right choice. They knew the right thing to do. They knew the right way to speak. It was innately within them. And when they allow the right things to come forward, to rise up within them, they made the good choices. And it's there within each and every one of us. So we're called, let us speak the words of light. Speak the wisdom. It's there within you. You know what to do. You know what to say. You know the right thing. You know it's innately within you. This is the divine wisdom within each and every one of us. And when we speak light, what happens? We're removing ignorance in this world. You know what? Our world is craving for enlightenment. Give me some wisdom. Give me some truth. I don't want to live in ignorance. I don't want to live in darkness. I don't want to live scrambling through this world and trying to find my way and stumbling and tripping over. I want to be successful. Everybody wants that. So the calling is for us to speak the words of wisdom, spiritual insight, and truth. Speak these powerful laws of God's unfolding insight and abilities and capabilities for our lives. Because when we do, our language changes and we become those who are molding and shaping, renewing and transforming the world around us. Psalm 19:14 says, may the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be pleasing in your sight, Lord. May the words of my mouth, that which I speak, may they be pleasing. May they be light. May they be wisdom. May they be insight. May they be understanding for one another. For this is how Jesus became the light of the world, expressing this truth, expressing it, teaching, and going on from place to place, from village to village, from town to town, from community to community, expressing this wonderful light, speaking the words of wisdom within our lives. And so we're called to do the very same. As we're called to be followers of Jesus, we're called to be people who speak the truth, wisdom, light, and insight. And so it is that as we do this, something changes for us as an individual and as a community. As a collective community, there will be a transformation this year as we begin to speak out the wonderful words of wisdom, speak out light. What happens is, as we do, and as we become the light of the world, we become leaders in the world. That's right. Not followers, but leaders in the world, influencers, shapers. In today's world, there's so many social media influencers. They said, that's what I do for a living. I'm here to influence the society. I'm here through my tips and my ways, and everyone's following my latest trends. And we find so many social influencers in this world. Well, that's what we're called to be. Social influencers in the realm of being a leader in unfolding this wisdom and this truth to the world around us. For enlightened leadership is the great need of this world in this present time. The world is looking for those who understand, how do we live prosperous? How do we live success? If the Bible's telling us that God calls us to live success and prosperity, and if the Bible tells us that we're not called to suffer, how do we do it? How do we do it? See, that's our calling. To speak it, to teach it, to experience it, and be an authority in it. The world may see us as leaders in this world. You see, this light is essential. It's a must-have for us. If we're going to be the people of God that we're called to be, if we're going to do, and if we're going to be in this world this incredible influence and this wonderful community of leadership, well, it's going to require a must-have of light. Today, I invite you to commit yourself to say, I am a light. I am a light. For the God within me, I give permission and I release to radiate and allow that love, that light, that insight, that wisdom that's already innately there. And you may think, wait a minute, I'm not that smart. I'm not that. Oh, let me tell you this. The God within you is full of intelligence and brilliance. Let it come out. Let it flow out. And you know what? Have you ever had these experiences where you say, gee, that sounded really good. Didn't know I knew that. You know, I said something kind of smart like there. You're like, where'd that come from? Let me tell you this. That's the Spirit of God speaking through you, giving you these opportunities for you to share in this world. So let it flow. Let it flow. Let it just come on out. Say, I am a light, and I'm going to walk into this world in this way. I'm going to be an illuminating factor. I will speak light. I will be light. I will do light. Amen. This is our calling, and it's an exciting year as we think about what we have been and how we've accomplished, and what we think about what is yet to be done in this world. Oh, the opportunities are immense, and I don't know about you, but I'm ready to accept the calling to be an even brighter light in this year than ever before, to be and to do it with greater intensity, and that is the language I speak, a language of light that illuminates the world. Amen. We have the opportunity now to give generously, and we appreciate the opportunities that we have, that we've been so blessed in this world that we can give back. And how wonderful it is as we step into this great cycle of sowing and reaping, which is a spiritual law. And we begin to understand that wisdom, we put it into work, and it unfolds for us. So we encourage you to think about your giving this year and saying, how might I be even more generous to support this work, knowing that as I sow, I shall also reap. God bless you as we give. And for those of you who are joining us through our live streaming and our YouTube channel, you can go to our website at www.cityoflightatlanta.com. Now, I share that, but I want to invite you who are joining us through live stream to not just brush those words off, but say, oh, wait a minute. I, too, want to step into the realm of this cycle of blessing. And I want to give, knowing that as I express this generosity, the law of return is there for me. That which I sow, I shall also reap. So I invite you to go to that website even now and take this moment to share your gifts and support of the ministry work of City of Light. God bless you. Let's just give generously as our ushers come. Amen. I want to just share with you a quick testimony of exciting things as we believe and proclaim. We speak light, wisdom, and insight, that we believe in the power of God to provide and bless in unexpected ways. How many of you are living in unexpected income? You know, so much of our world, we say, well, I live on a fixed income. You see, this is my paycheck. This is all the work offers me. This is my Social Security. This is my retirement. I'm fixed. That's all I have. Well, if that check, if that employment office is your source, you're right. But when we understand that God is our divine source, there are infinite blessings for our life. Amen? Because God is our source, not the company we work for, not our paycheck, not our retirement fund, not our Social Security, whatever it may be. That's not our source. Our source is the divine, God within us, ever providing and ever blessing for us. So I'm encouraging you this week to live in the realm of unexpected income. So this past few weeks, I've been traveling, and I took a flight on New Year's Eve to fly back to Atlanta from Texas. And when I went to check in, the question was, would you be interested in giving up your seat and taking a later flight? And if so, would you do it for X amount of dollars? Well, I could fly on a different flight. All right. And I thought, I'll be modest and just, click on $200, and that would be just fine. And, So I went to the gate, and they said, yes, you are the only one who's willing to give up their seat, and we need it. And I hate to tell you this, but I just don't know if you're going to be okay with this. But I can only give you $800. Let me think. Yes, all right. And they said, well, if you're struggling with that, we're going to give you a free breakfast too. And so I laugh about it, but I said, I just look back in the realm of unexpected income, of God's blessing. looking out in so many powerful ways. I'm no different than you. I'm not shining any greater favor on me than God is shining on you. I just want to speak light today in this principle, wisdom and insight, that God is our source, not our paycheck, not the company we work for, not the Social Security, not the retirement. That's not your source. God is, and in the realm of God, there's infinite possibilities to open your life up to that unexpected income because it's there for you. And the Spirit of God will surprise you in wonderful and unique ways. And I love that about the journey with God, that is full of all these infinite surprises of the way that God meets our needs and blesses us. So I just want to encourage you to make this a week of living in the realm of the divine source. God is your source. And in that, know that unexpected income is there to unfold for you in wonderful ways as you live in that expectancy. So again, what you're sowing is this wonderful light, understanding, wisdom, truth that says, I believe all things are possible. And that means that wonderful income can come to me from unusual and unexpected sources. And I know that God is meeting my need whenever I just step out in this great faith and claim the divine source is at work in my life. Let's just rise together in body or in spirit as we close with this song. Yes, there is peace about all things in this world, and it begins within us. Let us proclaim that now together, that this peace is there for each and every one of us, and it begins in us.
Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins in me. Yes, there is peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as my center, united all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Yes, peace begins with me. Yes, this is the moment now. With every step I take, yes, this is my solemn vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins in me.
Would you pray with me? Let's pray together. This we claim as a divine truth within our lives, that the language of light is our language. We speak wisdom, we speak divine insight, we speak understanding. And as we do, we experience it to the fullest. We put it into practice. We are expressing the very light of this world. We are expressing it as we speak it clearly to friends and relatives, to speak it at home in social gatherings. We speak the truth of the love of God, the grace of God, the insight, the wonderful wisdom that is there for each and every one of us, innately deep within. And this week we release it as we proclaim, I am a light. I am a light everywhere I go. I am being that light. I am doing that light. I profess that I am a light in a world of darkness and an illuminating factor that is transforming the world around me. And as I do, I welcome this role as an influencer, as a leader in my world, as one who is shaping and molding in a transformational power and bringing about change. This we receive as a blessing, as a calling, as a purpose for our journey. And we do so with great gratitude as we proclaim, I am the light, I am the light. I am an illuminating factor. I speak this word of wisdom. I speak truth. And so it is. Amen. So take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins in me. This morning, if you'd like to have someone join with you in prayer, following our service, as the cameras go off, I'll be up front here to pray with you in an affirming power. that God is there to meet your very need. And we invite you to join us for hospitality in our lobby as we share in this great sense of community, speaking light to one another. God bless you. We'll look forward to seeing you next week.